Hello, Leo. Welcome to your August reading. Let's go ahead and get started here with an astrology card. So what is it that Leo needs to know for August 2024? Okay, beautiful. It's the part of fortune. It's an increase, a card of increase. So it could be actual money. There could be an increase of opportunity. There could be a promotion of some kind. There could be a new client that comes in that kind of takes you up a little bit of a notch. There could also just be kind of an inherent or an internal increase or an appreciation in terms of just the way you view the world, which can then in turn manifest as external opportunities coming through as well. I have a feeling August, because the past few months for Leo, we've had some tricky readings for you. We've had some bold messages that have come out, and I feel like right now, Leo, you're a little bit on the upswing. So wherever there has been strife, wherever there has been struggle, chances are you're going to really start to see those things easing up for you. You're going to start seeing things flow a little bit better. You're going to see the opportunities coming in and you'll be able to really harness them, right? Because maybe in the past, the opportunities came in, but you couldn't do something about it, right? Maybe you didn't have the money, maybe you didn't have the resources or the time or the energy, right? But now I think with the opportunities coming in, you're ready mentally and emotionally and otherwise to really jump on it, okay? Now we have grief. It says, I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. And actually losing something is often really important for the gains. And because we are in a period of increase for you, as per this card, it makes sense that something had to be lost. So where there was a chunk of something, for some reason I'm thinking money, but it could be something else, right? But it feels like there was a chunk of something that kind of drifted away, like how a chunk of ice breaks off of an iceberg or something, right? Just kind of like breaks off and floats away. So as something is being released, there is opportunity for gain on the other side. And that seems like you're kind of in that transition right now. We do have a Mercury retrograde this month. So beginning on what day is it? The 4th? I always have to write my dates down because I can never remember them off the cuff. But on the 4th of August, Mercury retrograde begins. That's going to be happening at 4 degrees of Virgo, and then it's going to retrograde back into Leo throughout August. So you are going to feel the effects of that Mercury retrograde for sure. And Mercury retrograde is always a time to regroup, to reboot, to kind of go back and kind of start from the drawing board, to start fresh a little bit. So it makes sense that something had to go out. All right, let's see what else comes through. What's really interesting is I'm not really getting a very dark feeling about this card at all. I know the word grief is like such a heavy word, but I don't actually feel like it pulls you down. I don't feel like it pulls you down. I don't feel like I'm not saying it doesn't affect you, but I think your sights are just so set on the future. This has a lot to do, by the way, with Pluto. And in September, now not in August, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but in September, very beginning of September, Pluto goes back into Capricorn again. So, we kind of have that coming up as well. And that's actually September 1st. So throughout August, we're going to feel that buildup going on. So it makes sense that there's kind of that kind of feeling of the closing of the chapter. All right, now last month we had a lot of messages for not just Leo, but for I think every single sign actually, about really fighting for what you want. Fighting for what you want, defending what you want, standing firm in what you want. And that 5 of Wands is showing up here again, first card out, and tells me that you're still doing that. You're still putting your best foot forward. And, I think you're willing to let your life get a little bit messy, or you're willing to let your life get a little bit chaotic if it means that you're going to be on the right track to getting the results that you want. I don't think you're afraid of the chaos. I don't think you're afraid of stirring things up. I think you're actually beyond ready, because I think you also know that this is what must be done in order for this increase to be had, to be harnessed. This is you putting up the fight for your dreams, putting up the fight for the future that you are trying to build, because clearly with this Two of Wands, there is a vision that is readily available to you. There is this dream that you have. Now, whether you believe you can have that dream or not, that's a different story. I think for those of you who are struggling to believe that you can have that type of life because of all the reasons, and probably you do have a lot of reasons, but if you're one of those people that's like, well, I do have this dream, but I also don't think I can have it because yada, 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 and you list out all the things, this is probably going to be a good month for you to take a step back and say, why am I resisting and fighting against my dreams so much? Why am I fighting so hard? Like, if there's going to be a fight, I might as well fight for what I want instead of fighting for what I don't want. Because if you're sitting there listing out all the reasons and using those reasons as a reason not to act, I would say you're fighting for the life you don't want. The fight is going to happen. No matter what, the fight is going to happen. So you might as well fight in the right direction. Okay? So you may need to and again, Mercury retrograde, reset, reboot, refresh, kind of reset your mind a little bit to get your head on straight and say, okay, what am I really doing here? What perspective do I really hold? And is that perspective really helpful for me or not? Because if it's not helpful, then what am I doing? I'm only hurting myself. And why would I want to do that? Because we don't really want to do that. In our conscious mind, we don't want to, but there may be reasons why we do, right? Patterns, trauma, that type of thing. And when the moon comes out, there's always this kind of ominous feeling. And it's sometimes like fears that surface, fears that come up. It feels kind of like a test, quote unquote. I don't really like to use that word, but it feels like your higher self is testing your ability to power through, your ability to persevere, your ability to believe. Many Leos, I think, will fail this test. They'll fail and they'll revert back and go back into those old ways, even though they wholeheartedly don't want to be back there. It's going to be a lot of people, especially through September. If Pluto re-enters Capricorn September 1st, it's going to be there until November. It's like a little over a couple of months there. There's like a 2-month period of time where I think people are going to kind of go back into that past life, go back into that past pattern, go back into that comfort zone and realize that it's not comfortable anymore. But neither is the new life either. And you have to choose your discomfort. You have to be uncomfortable by being in the same place that you've outgrown, or be uncomfortable pushing in the new direction that you're ready for, but you've never done before. Okay? And I think that moon is kind of that strange in between, like, which direction are you really going to go? And this is coming, like, the only way through this is one step forward. And that requires so much courage and so much willpower and so much determination, right? It requires so much from you. It requires the Five of Wands fight. It's all being driven by this Two of Wands vision that you hold, but there has to be a little bit of a fight, right? You have to communicate with yourself, with your higher self, the universe, spirit. You have to communicate and say, this new life is really what I want, and I'm going to prove it by fully embodying it to the maximum of my potential, as much as I possibly can. As uncomfortable as it may be, as challenging as it may be, as strange as it may feel, because it probably will feel strange, you're going to do it anyway. And that moon, it kind of tells me, it's like a little voice. I'm kind of hearing this little voice that's like it's gonna try to tempt you. It's gonna be like, you don't belong here. You don't belong here. You're not ready for this. It's too soon. You don't have the resources. It's not going to happen. No one's going to believe you. Like it's that little devil on your shoulder, that little, devil's advocate that's always going to push against everything because it just wants to keep you safe. But the safety zone doesn't feel safe anymore either. Okay. Now, I love the Chariot. I'm actually really happy the Chariot came out because I feel like Cancer and Leo seasons, I know we're not in Cancer season anymore, but Cancer and Leo seasons, July and August, really are the times where we can push down on that gas pedal really hard. And I think the Chariot is truly about empowerment. And it speaks to that level of confidence and perseverance. And it speaks to that, kind of sense of responsibility that you wear on your shoulders that say, I'm the only one that can create this life for myself. I'm the only one. I have the power. I have the decision-making power. I have the choices, and I have to use those to my benefit. Because if we're looking at a period of increase for Leo, then there's a period of increase for Leo, but you also have to be in the right position to be able to receive it. Because we all know people who have opportunities come knocking on their door and they don't receive it. They don't take it. They don't jump on it because they're not right. The reasons. They don't do it because of the reasons. And I don't see the Chariot turning down opportunity because of flimsy reasons. Okay. Now, the Hermit is an indicator of a process. And I would say the Moon is also a card of process as well. In Leo, you might be in a period of just processing everything. Maybe things have been going kind of quickly. Time has been moving quickly. You've been moving quickly. Opportunities have been kind of in and out, and the one thing that worries me about the Hermit is that sometimes we can get stuck in this like analysis paralysis state where you sit and you think and think and think and think. But the Chariot is not about sitting and thinking. It's about the action and the embodiment. Now, the Hermit knows that action is very important, but there can be some resistance there because it's more about analyzing. It's more about looking deep into things and asking more and more and more questions. See, the Hermit is not about the attainment of the wisdom. It's about the questions. It's about even the Moon, I always say, is like the big question mark of the tarot. But I don't know that you need to be in a fit of questions or in like this storm of questions right now. I don't know that it's about the questions. I don't know that it's about having all the information. I don't know that it's about, being sure. I don't think the Chariot needs to be sure about things. I think the Chariot just needs to go do things. The Chariot needs to bite the bullet and push forward, and it does require effort. Now, I know in Law of Attraction, manifestation, we talk so much about effortlessness. We talk about attracting and not chasing. But the one thing that I think Law of Attraction in the spiritual community kind of lacks is the emphasis on inspired action, right? Action does not have to be drudgery. It does not have to be, breaking your back and working 20 hours a day. It doesn't have to be this go, 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 go type thing. But there does have to be some action to some degree. And I think that if you really want what you say you want, you also know that there are certain things that must be done in order to support that dream. Like, for example, let's say you want to manifest more money. Well, you can sit and wait for money to just plop in your lap. You can sit and wait for the lottery win. You can do that. Or you can step into this role, the Chariot role, and say, okay, well, I'm going to manifest a lot more money. And in the meantime, I'm also going to treat my money with utmost respect. And I'm going to act as a guardian or a steward of my money. And I'm going to put it in the right places. And I'm going to spend it wisely. And I'm going to invest it properly. And I'm going to do what I know I need to do. in the meantime, right? So there is some type of action that can be taken with that Chariot card. You don't have to know exactly how to do it in order to do it. Wow, you're getting a lot of major arcana, which is great because major arcana are like really big flashing signals that says, hey, Leo, pay attention. This is an important month for you. Wheel of Fortune with the card of part of fortune or increase. There's no doubt that August is going to be a turning point for you as long as you are not fighting in the wrong direction. Look, no matter what, there's going to be increase. It just depends on what is going to be increased. Are you going to increase the negativity in your life, or are you going to increase the opportunities? Because there's going to be increase nonetheless. That Wheel of Fortune is going to start to balloon everything up. So what is it going to be? The choice really is yours. Two of Wands, the Chariot, the choice is yours 100%. What are you going to choose to appreciate? What are you going to choose to increase? Hopefully you choose to increase your empowerment, your confidence, your belief in yourself. You choose to increase your sense of responsibility, because I do think Leo, and I say this to my Leos and Capricorns a lot, there's a strong similarity between these two archetypes. You being ruled by the sun, Capricorn being ruled by Saturn. There's a lot of responsibility on their shoulders, right? Being the sun, being the center of the solar system, the largest entity in the solar system, and being the entity which everything else or around which everything else revolves. I mean, there's a lot. You're keeping a lot intact. And you do have to step into that role of responsibility. There cannot be avoidance right now. There cannot be denial. There cannot be cowardice, and you cannot run away. Because if you do that, you are going to increase the lack. You are going to increase the scarcity. So you have to think wisely about what is it that you really want to increase. What do you want to increase, Leo? I love the Temperance card as it speaks to redirection, as it speaks to alchemy, right? As we have a certain emotion or thought or feeling, we can channel it in specific ways. If we are feeling, for example, anxiety, worry about something that may happen, worry about our money, worry about this thing at work, worry about this issue with our family member or a health issue, right? As we're worried about this stuff, we can recognize that, right? We always say emotion, energy in motion. That's like what all the new agey people say, right? Energy in motion is what emotion is. So we recognize whatever emotion as simply an energy, especially one that's like going around in your mind a lot. Like that's an energy that needs to be released or redirected. So we can take that consciously, and this may take some practice and some work, but that's where the empowerment of the Chariot really comes out, and that kind of sense of self-control, right? The real question is, how in control of yourself are you truly? If you are truly in control of yourself and you have this energy in motion, you can choose to say, okay, I'm going to sit in my room all day and stress, or I'm going to take this and I'm going to apply it in X, Y, and Z ways, and maybe I'll turn the situation around. Maybe I will earn some more money. Maybe I'll get that promotion. Maybe I'll go find the love of my life, right? Maybe I'll land that client. You know, it's about taking it and choosing which direction to go. I feel so much hope with that Ace of Cups. That Leo, you're in a position right now where you have the power to attract really whatever you want. And maybe some things you don't want too. But when you attract both things that are wanted and things that are unwanted, you put yourself in an even more powerful position to choose. If you have on the table two options in front of you, one is what you want, another is what you don't want, well, then you get to choose the one you want. So it does put you in a more powerful position. So the more empowered you are, the more active you are, the more progress you see, the more action you take, the more opportunities will come in. There's a gravity here, okay? Solar returns. And it's not just a solar return when it's Leo, okay? Leo is very, very special. I'm not just trying to stroke y'all's egos, but Leo is very, very special because it's not just a solar return for you, but it is the sun in rulership. Very powerful season. Leo season is, like, in my opinion, the most powerful season. I'd say Leo and Aries, really, really strong seasons, especially for what you want in your life that doesn't really involve anybody else, right? Has to do with your creativity, your soul's expression, your self-expression, your authenticity, your uniqueness, and how that really shows up in the world. That has nothing to do with anybody else. Other people may benefit and other people may be affected to some degree, but really it's about you. So the more empowered you are, the more confident you are, the more action you take, the more likely you are to attract these Ace of Cups opportunities that I think are going to make you really happy. You know, the Ace of Cups is a card to celebrate. Now, the Ace of Cups is still just a potential, so it's not like it's the full package coming your way, but it is something that proves that your current path of action works. That what you're doing actually works, that your method of manifestation is working, that your empowerment is working, your positivity, your perception, like it's all working for you. Okay? And with the Six of Wands, it's like you're going to succeed. I mean, I don't really see, I'm not saying there's not strife this month, because we do see effort with the Five of Wands. Like, we do see you putting in that fight. We do see you like really committing and standing up for what you want, and, you know, like grief, like maybe there are things that need to be lost in order for you to succeed in this way. I will tell you that whatever is lost, you will gain back significantly more. I'm not going to say like tenfold, because I think that might be, you know, a little too much of a blanket statement or too generic, but there will be an increase of some sort with the Wheel of Fortune and the Part of Fortune, which is an increase card. Literally says increase on the card. Okay, so you're headed into that period of increase. So the grief, I don't know, is like, I don't know that you have to be in a period of grief. I mean, I don't know that you're really sad about it all that much. I think you're just kind of like, okay, I guess it was time. And it might be motivating for you to kind of clear space for you to tap into that Chariot and really go for it, you know? So let's pull out the clarifiers, because I think this is going to be a really beautiful story. So for those of you who are new, we're going to pull out a whole bunch of new cards, and we're going to talk about these in the comprehensive reading. It's usually like another 25 to 30 minutes. So if you want to join, you're more than welcome. All the links are going to be down below in the description box and the pinned comment thread. So be sure to check it out. Be sure to join us. So we're going to start with the Five of Wands. Let's see what comes through. Beautiful with the star. Yeah, I'm really not getting a bad feeling about that. Oh, another Five of Wands. Okay, so we'll pull out two more cards for that. Four of Wands. And a lot of Wands, my goodness. Nine of Wands. All right, now for Two of Wands. Three of Swords. Well, there's the grief. Okay. And Queen of Wands. Eight of Cups. Another Chariot. I'm so happy to see the Chariot, the Fool, and the Queen of Coins. Page of Coins. Five of Cups, Queen of Swords. Another Two of Wands. Love the Three of Coins for this season. A lot of building, a lot of creation happens during this time. Judgment. I think you are going to have an epiphany of some kind when it comes to manifestation, which manifestation really just being of, you know, bringing something into reality. Basically, that's all it is, okay? And I think you're going to have a realization about it. You're going to have some kind of a switch that flips, and you're going to start to see how easy manifestation can be and how effortless it can be. And you're going to really understand what people mean when they say effortlessness, because there's still actions being taken, but the difference is in the effort. Okay. 7 of Wands, another Ace of Cups. Beautiful. King of Coins. Nine of Coins, the Hermit again, and the 10 of Swords. Okay, so this is where we're going to pick up. So there are some grief cards that come out in this reading. So we'll talk a little bit more about it in the comprehensive. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. Thank you all so much. Have an amazing August, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.